Hey y'all, in today's video, I'm going to be sharing two different cookie recipes. So we will be doing some Grinch themed cookies, which were my kids' favorite. They are Grinch obsessed right now. And then also some salted caramel chocolate chip cookies, which were mine and Josh's favorite. Honestly, my favorite thing about Christmas time is all of the baking and just making all the fun little sweet treats that I don't normally do throughout the rest of the year. So I really enjoy doing this. And I'm also collabing with a few other beautiful ladies who will also be sharing cookie recipes. So I will have their videos listed down below in my description box. So yeah, you should have a wide variety of cookies to add to your list of things to try this year. Okay, so first up, let's do the Grinch cookies. I love that these called for very few ingredients, and this was my first time using like a box cake mix for cookies. So you will need 1 box of French vanilla cake mix. You'll also need a half a cup of vegetable oil and 2 eggs, also 1 drop of green food coloring. You technically need like heart sprinkles to place in the middle, but I could not find that this time of year, so I just have some Christmas sprinkles, and then you'll also need some powdered sugar. So I'm just going to get that cake mix, eggs, oil, and food coloring mixed together. As you can probably see, this batter is really thick. I thought for sure that I was leaving something out, but I promise it'll work out in the end. So now I'm just taking that powdered sugar and just placing it into a shallow dish. And then I'm going to take my little cookie scoop. And the first time I made the mistake of putting it in my hand, don't do that because it's really sticky. Just plop it right into that powdered sugar and roll it around and place it onto a plate. And I'm just going to repeat that until all of my batter's gone. Now I'm just going to place these in the refrigerator and let those chill for 20 minutes. Meanwhile, I'm going to clean up, do a few dishes, and then I'm going to preheat my oven to 350 degrees. So I am going to be placing these on a silicone baking mat that I've placed over my cookie sheet. I've just recently got this, and it's a game changer. It keeps it from sticking, and it's just a lot less messy. And I'm so sorry about that flashing light. My new phone that I film on just does that all the time. I cannot figure it out. So I hope it doesn't make you click out of this video. I know it's frustrating, but if anybody knows how to fix that, please let me know. But anyways, now that I've got those all added, I'm going to place my sprinkles in the middle. I eventually figured out if you take your thumb and press down in the middle, it makes it a lot easier. Now these are ready to go in the oven, and you want to bake those anywhere from 8 to 10 minutes. Just keep an eye on them. And here's what they look like straight out of the oven. I think they are so cute. I love the crinkly, like snowy look from that powdered sugar, and I love the way they made my kitchen smell. And of course they tasted really good. I don't believe I've had anything like this before, like the texture. And after about 5 minutes, I did transfer them to a cooling rack to finish cooling down. That way they didn't get like hard on the bottom. But yeah, these were a hit. Moving on to the salted caramel chocolate chip cookies, I'm going to start by combining my dry ingredients first. So to this mixing bowl, I'm adding in 2 cups of all-purpose flour, followed by 1 teaspoon of cornstarch, as well as 1 teaspoon of baking soda, and then lastly, just a half a teaspoon of regular salt. And then I'm going to pull out my whisk, and I'm just going to quickly combine that and set that to the side. Then to my KitchenAid mixer, I'm going to add in 1 stick of butter at room temperature, and I'm going to add in a half a cup of sugar as well as a half a cup of brown sugar, and I'm just going to cream that together until it's nice and smooth. If you don't have this type of mixer, that's completely fine. You can do this with a handheld mixer as well. Now I'm just adding in 1 egg plus 1 egg yolk. Mix, mix, mix. Then I'm going to take out my little spatula I believe that's what it's called. And I'm just going to scrape down the sides, just make sure that everything is getting fully incorporated. And then lastly, I'm just going to add in 1.5 teaspoons of some pure vanilla extract. Now I can add in my dry ingredients. I'm just going to plop it all in there. I'm not going to do half mix, then have the other half. So when you do that, you just want to start off at the slowest speed. That way the flour doesn't go flying everywhere, and then you can speed it up. And I'm just going to beat that until it is a workable dough. And I'm going to be using the semi-sweet chocolate chips. You'll need 1 cup. And then these are the caramels that I'm using. It's not really what I wanted to use, but that's all that my store had. But they worked out just fine. So I'm just going to chop those up into little pieces and add in a cup of those as well. And then I'm just going to give that a final little mix, get that all folded in until it just looks right. And then I'm going to do the same thing. I'm just going to take my cookie scoop and plop it out onto my baking mat. And this would probably make 2 dozen. I didn't end up doing the other dozen because we don't need that many cookies anyway. So I just put those in a freezer bag and place those in the freezer. So we will have those at another time. So now I'm just covering those with some cling wrap. And they do need to chill in the fridge for 2 hours. So it would be ideal to do this step the night before. That way when you're ready to serve them, it can just be a quick process. But now for the last step, I'm just going to roll these around in sea salt. And not gonna lie, on a few of those cookies I may have went a little crazy with the salt. Josh didn't know what was happening inside his mouth. But the good thing about it, like if you add too much salt, after they're done baking, you can easily just take your finger and swipe some off and life will go on. It'll all be fine. So I would recommend, instead of doing it this way like the recipe says, just take your finger and sprinkle some on each so that way you won't overdo it. But these just went in at 350 as well, and those will cook anywhere from 10 to 12 minutes. And here is the finished product. I think they look so good, and they really were. I absolutely love the contrast of salty and sweet when you don't overdo it. But yeah, that's going to be it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know down in the comments, what is your favorite Christmas cookie? And maybe I'll make it before the end of the year. Also, don't forget to check out the other ladies' videos. Show them some love.